A sexually explicit so-called joke sent by a Hamilton City councillor has blown up in his face well and truly. The journalist he sent it to says it was cruel, hurtful and that she's been humiliated by it. Mark Bunting has apologised to Angela Cuming for sending the joke, which was a play on her last name, via Facebook, but he now faces a disciplinary hearing on Friday. His actions have also reopened a complaint by another councillor that there is a culture of sexism around the council table. Here is our Waikato reporter, Andrew McRae.
Mark Bunting's in his first term as a city councillor. He also runs a communications company, and on its website he describes himself as coach, director and all-round good guy who's driven to improve the world he lives in. Prior to all that, he was a commercial radio breakfast jock. Councillor Paula Southgate says there's no place in public life for such actions. She believes Mark Bunting has made a very big error.
I don't support that behaviour at all. I think it was very silly and disrespectful behaviour. And of course he's paying the price for that now in terms of how the public feel about that. Councillor
Angela O'Leary has already complained about a culture of sexism on council. She's been there for 10 years and says she's only noticed the sexism in the current term of council.
Particularly as a woman in this industry, in politics, we learn to build a thick skin and become resilient. But then, when push comes to shove, enough is enough. And it's offhand comments. We'll be talking about an issue for the city and there'll just be sort of throwaway comments across the table between some of the men around their wives. It's hard to put into words.
Angela O'Leary says she complained to the Mayor earlier in the year.
The culture's quite severely broken and I've continuously had conversations with the Mayor and CEO and nothing seems to be changing.
Councillor Gary Mallett disagrees.
There are jibes and sexist comments being carried around the do. I haven't noticed any. They're water off a duck's back to me. Nothing I've ever heard, or very little that I've heard, has been deliberate. I think there's been the odd tongue-in-cheek comment made, but I think people just need to be a little bit tougher. I think, it's disappointing that people are becoming so limp-wristed, to be honest.
The Mayor, Andrew King, says early this term, his first as Mayor, there may have been some sexist comments being made around the table, but now he's on to it.
Certainly become much more aware of that now and keeping a much heavier hand on anything like that comes up so I can nip things in the bud.
On the streets of Hamilton today, locals didn't believe there was any place for sexist comments, and in particular Mark Bunting's sexually explicit joke.
Not on. These guys are elected to be sort of leaders and voice for the city. Not on. Lead by example.
Yeah, no, I just think that sort of thing's inappropriate for someone in a prominent position like that. I mean, there's obviously a position of influence that he holds, and I think that, those sort of things need to be kept out of the public arena.
I think it's inappropriate to anybody that's an official to just randomly think they have the right to talk to a citizen in any way that's derogatory, really. You're in a responsible position.
Former Hamilton Mayor Margaret Evans, who served 3 terms, has a clear message to all councillors.
Please always remember that what you're doing illustrates to particularly our young people the way in which our society should operate. Don't do stupid stuff.
Mark Bunting will appear before the Council's disciplinary committee on Friday. The committee has the power to demand an apology, censure a councillor or remove them from council committees. In Hamilton for Checkpoint, Ko Andrew McRae.